and I'll check everything
So
as we're going.
keep refreshing.
Oh, yeah, and the only thing I gotta do now is just go from private to public, and Hadoop. There we go. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. There we go.
We're going Ghetto mode with the one screen.
Yep.
I'm like here's just the Discord chat on my end. I don't see anything else.
But oh, cool. I didn't know I could do that.
Wait, what didn't you know you could do?
It said something the chat on the right of the screen. I forgot that was the thing.
Yeah.
But okay, welcome guys. Yes, this was well overdue since the Crown Tundra has been released. I wanted to give a second look on Sword and Shield as a whole. And here, I do have a buddy with me. I don't know if you know him from the Fall Guys live stream, but I do have Jaws with me. Now, put it this way. You know how I was really critical and kind of like negative towards Sword and Shield? Well, think he's like the exact opposite of me. So the burger, and you're probably wondering, well, hey, all right, that's crazy. You're probably just gonna be yelling and bitching at each other the entire time. Well, not exactly. The reason why I have him here is because, considering that my opinion was maybe a little bit too biased with negativity, I'm gonna give someone who is on the other end of the spectrum a chance to speak their mind as well, so we can get a full opinion on the game as a whole. So that is my objective here. Because as you know, I gave the game a 6 out of 10 when it was released, with not including DLC. So maybe the score can be a little bit different now. So let's dive right into our first thoughts of it. Jaws, what do you like to start off with? Not including DLC, what do you think is probably the most interesting part of the Crown Tundra? Sword and Shield. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
About the Crown Tundra.
It's like, you're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm tired. I got 2 hours of sleep last night.
How did you only get 2? I got 5. We ended the call at the same time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just couldn't fall asleep.
God damn it. Go ahead.
So I guess the one thing that I have to say that got me really hooked on the game before the DLC even came out, that I found myself just going back to even after I beat the story entirely, was just the wild area. Like, to have that sort of ability where you go into a free roam area and actually see Pokemon walking the overworld and actually go and interact with them. For some reason, I guess someone who's been playing Pokemon since they were like in the 3rd grade, it was just something so new and refreshing that it was something that we always wanted for a long, long time. I said, wow, they actually finally did it. Like, I don't have to be walking through little 8-bit patches of like green text. I can just actually walk up to a Pokemon or just ride my bike towards it, and there it is. And even after I beat the story, I just felt like, hey, I want to keep going back. I want to see what I can encounter. And at one point, just myself going back into the wild area and, opening up my camp and filling up my curry decks, I came to a realization like, hey, I'm spending so much time here. Why don't I do something that I've never done in any other Pokemon game I played before, which is complete the decks. And having the wild area, open and able to just ride around and encounter all these Pokemon, I was thinking like, I can actually do this. This is not just something I'm probably just going to start and finish. I can actually finish. I have the ability to do so. And not only that, them incorporating having the daycare in the wild area too, you have all the resources right there just to continue to keep playing even after the story. After you beat the post story, you can still go back and there's such more replayability to it than especially you, buddy, give credit for. And I felt like that is like the number one thing that I just love most about the game, just being in the wild area.
I'd have to agree. I mean, I've only played. I have the game as well. I have Shield. I've only played for about, I think, 20 hours or so. But I definitely want to play it a little bit more now that I've kind of let it do its thing.
As we're speaking, I am shiny hunting a Whalmer right now. So let me see where my timestamp is, just to give a little bit of an idea of how much time I devoted to this game before the DLC came out. Or actually before, because I got the DLC a little bit late because I was just adamant, what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
And I got only recent. I was at around 150 hours on Shield after completing the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. And of course, I also completed all 3 Pokedexes, which is something I thought I'd never do ever in my lifetime. Complete 1 Pokedex, so that's let alone 2 other ones. I think I'm clocked in right now at 231 hours and 33 minutes.
So what are the other 2 dexes just for each DLC?
Say what?
So what are the other 2 dexes just for each DLC?
Yeah, so for the Isle of Armor has its own decks, and so does the Crown Tundra.
Hey, okay. Oh, that's kind of neat. Then you can kind of have like 3 smaller dexes like that. I mean, and
Exactly.
is it still confirmed that they're eventually gonna just release everything else, or there might not be some that will arrive?
Well, right now there's still a lot of Pokemon that are not confirmed yet, so I don't know if they're gonna re-release it or not. Yeah, the bird's here, by the way. The bird's here, by the way, because of course my roommate doesn't want to deal with her. So cool.
Yeah, like even so, when you go into the, I guess spoiler, I don't know how we could describe it.
No, you can. This is completely. By now, people should already know everything, so you can spoil anything.
So obviously, in the Isle of Armor, you have the choice because after you beat the champion in the regular story, he gives you a Charmander. So when you go into the Isle of Armor, you have a choice of either Squirtle or Bulbasaur. Obviously, I chose Squirtle because Blastoise is like my favorite water type starter. I mean, he's got cannon on his back.
That was my first starter in Pokemon Blue was Squirtle.
Yeah, like Squirtle, I love Squirtle to death. So, when you go into Crown Tundra, they don't tell you anything about the any new stars or anything until you go and you do the Dynamax adventures, and then you see, you can get a Grovyle, you can get Marshtomp or Swampert. Like, apparently the Hoenn starters are put into Dynamax adventures, but they don't tell you that you're able to get one. So, if you're not lucky enough to, because essentially how the Dynamax adventures work, you have to vote to go on which path. If your team doesn't vote to take that path where that starter is, you can't get it. And then you're at a point where it's like, okay, I finished the adventure, I have the starter, do I take the legendary? Well, given the fact of how the mechanics work, like you can decline the legendary and you can go back for it. You can keep that, Hoenn starter. So right now, I actually got a Sceptile and I got a Marshtomp, which I evolved into Swampert. And I was doing some Wonder Trades when I was trying to complete my decks, and I actually got a Japanese Torchic. So I have all the Hoenn starters. Yeah.
Yeah, with the trading thing, let me get into that. How is that?
So the whole trading mechanism, it's honestly, how can it's a little cut and dry is the best way I can explain it, because you can do some Wonder Trades, which are really good, and then you'll just get some bland Pokemon back, which, if you want to play it safe, if you do a lot of egg breeding, you can just, dispense those Pokemon.
Now that's correct.
I got a lot of starters in Wonder Trades. I mean, I got a lot of hacked Mons, like from Pokelabs and Matchamps.com, and they were all holding Master Balls, so in a sense, I guess win-win. I mean, I'm never going to use them. They're just trophy Pokemon.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
trading, a bribe? Here, have a Master Ball. Now go subscribe to us.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. But I did end up getting like 4 Master Balls. Well, 3 from Wonder Trades, 1 other one from the Crown Tundra, because you do get one in the Crown Tundra, and I used all 4 of them in catching some legendaries. Because, like, for example, Virizion, dude, he maxed out Swords Dance, and he was just knocking out my team like crazy. I said, fuck it, I'm using this thing. I'm done. I was going on like 35 minutes of battling him, and I'm like, I can't do this no more. Like, and the fact is, like, for example, my Kyogre, which I caught on Dynamax Avenger, has the best special and physical defense, and the fact that he was taking him out like so easy, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, Kyogre's no slouch.
Yeah, and like Kyogre can take a hit, and for him to almost take him out in 1 hit, it was ridiculous. But when it comes to training, like, for example, when I was finishing up my I had a friend of mine who he has Sword, and he helped me with some of the Sword exclusives and whatnot, helped me do some link trades, to evolve some Pokemon. So finishing up my not Crown Tundra, story decks and the Isle of Armor decks, I had a friend help me. So when it came to the Crown Tundra, essentially how the story progresses when you go into there, you have a choice of either you gain Glastier or Spectre, and that's, the legendary of that area. He has like a horse, and you either choose it to be a ghost or an ice type. I obviously chose the cooler one, which is a ghost. And then once that portion of the story finishes, you go and catch your legendary. So you have the legendary birds and you have the Reggies. So apparently they introduced 2 new Reggies in the Galar region, which is Regieleki, which is an electric type, and Regidrago, which is a dragon type. And both of them are in one temple. So essentially you have to choose which one you want. So I chose Regieleki, meaning, I opted out and didn't take Regidrago, and also I didn't take Glacier, who's the ice horse. So essentially, I was at a point where I had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, both dexes for the DLC are at 210, and I was at 208 in the Crown Tundra dex, literally meaning that the 2 Pokemon I didn't choose were like the ones I was missing. So I tried.
Yeah, I never really understood that. The fact that I don't know, is that like them trying to persuade you to start a new file or buy the other game or something? That's always seemed wrong to me.
I think they're persuading you to start a new file, which I think is just really whack, to say the least.
Which
But
I didn't. Yeah, that's one thing I never included. Actually, that's one thing I got to point out. That's one thing I never included in my original review, and I actually kind of feel bad that I didn't mention is the fact that this is the first Pokemon game that you can't actually have more than one save file on the same cartridge and stuff. So that's one thing I can give it credit for. The fact that you don't have to delete your entire save just to try and do it.
And not only that, I really feel like they pushed, I guess, the fan base to kind of reach out and use the different features that the game has, meaning like trading and, you know, going online and all that stuff. Like, I never found myself actually going on the Pokemon Sword and Shield subreddit and then going up to their Discord server and going down to their channel and saying, hey, I'm looking for Glastrier and Regidrago to complete my decks. And like less than 5 minutes after I posted that message, someone hit me up and says, yeah, I'll help you out because he needed Regieleki. I'm like, perfect. So got my decks done. I had all 3 of them done. Like, that was an accomplishment. I was like, part of my childhood is at peace now. I can rest easy now. But the thing is, but I think I was telling you this too, because before I got on this little like whim to catch a shiny Wailmer and obviously get a shiny Wailord, because Wailord is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Don't at me.
I'm pretty sure there's more Dragonite haters out there than there are Wailord haters, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I just think he's so underrated, but I digress. I'll get into that
Although
later.
there's one thing I must say. It's like, how is that a Mega Evolution that's non-existent for you guys now that Dragonite's Dynamax / multi-scale weakness policy combination's fucking broken? You can eat my shit.
I have no idea what you said, but
it's just a combination where if you Dynamax Dragonite when he has the multi-scale ability, it just with weakness policy, whenever he gets hit by a movie's weak 2, he actually gains like a boost in attack and whatever too. So like, yeah, he becomes like a powerhouse, and he's a pretty good sweeper now because of that combo.
That's crazy.
Which is the reason why he's the Pokemon of the week this week. So yay, there's that.
That's crazy. But yeah, so. You know, one thing what I like about the game is it kind of gets people, you know, at least veteran players, out of their comfort zone. And not in a bad way. It just says, you know, hey, we have all these things going for us in the community and that we have applied to the game. Go out and use them. Like, don't just stay to the regular, you know, tactics. So for me, finding myself going on a subreddit and just asking, like, hey, I need to finish my decks, help me out. And it's like, yeah, I got you. But the only one thing that's a little bittersweet about it is, yeah, I finished the decks, but, you know, of course I had to give the Regidrago back. And how the Crown Tundra has it is, if you want to encounter Regigigas, you need to have all 5 Regis. So that means you need Regirock, Registeel, Regice, Regieleki, and Regidrago. So you can counter Regigigas, which, you know, it's kind of hard to go on to an online forum and say, hey, can I borrow someone's Pokemon because of all the scammers and things going on? You know, people don't trust you.
Yeah, so you can really only do that with yourself if you have a second game / file, or actually, no, you technically can do it by yourself because you can put it in Pokemon Home and then transfer it to the original file you want. So yes, you can pretty much do it that way.
Right, but I'm trying to do it like as clean as I can. And I asked my friend who he has a DLC, but he hasn't really touched the Crown Tundra. And I remember before I decided to go on Discord server, I asked him, like, hey, like, do you think you can get Glastrier and Regidrago and, like, you know, so we can help each other with the dexes? And he says, oh, well, I want Spectre. I don't want the Ice Horse. I'm like, well, okay, how about this? Like, I'm at this point where I'm like, I want to finish the dex. I'm like, okay, get we always call it the Ice Horse and the Ghost Horse. We don't really use their real names. I'm like, get the Ice Horse. I will trade you my Ghost Horse. You can keep it, and I'll keep your Ice Horse. I just need to keep the dex. And he's like, oh, okay. And like 3 weeks passed by, and I'm like, hey, you know, how's things going? Like, you know, did you progress and whatnot? Because we both go to the same university, and we're both engineering majors, so we both have workloads, but we still have downtime, especially him more than myself. He's like, oh, yeah, I haven't touched it since last time we talked. I'm like, bro, seriously?
Wow.
I cannot wait on this guy any longer. But yeah, for the
trading, that sometimes be it.
Yeah, but like when it comes to trading and all that, it's not that bad. The only agreements I have has nothing to do with Sword and Shield, is with the GTS. Because before
it's Pokemon, it's not in the game anymore. It's home exclusive now.
Right, it's home exclusive. So it's like you have to insert the Pokemon through your Switch, and then you have to enact the trade through your phone, which I think is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But when I was looking at them and say, hey, I need a Glacier Regidrago, people were, offering an ice horse, but they want an ice horse back. I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. People will want a ridiculous Pokemon for it. I'm like, why would I even give you that? Or one guy would be like, hey, here's Regidrago.
I'm guessing they're trying. The only thing I could possibly think of is they have a shitty IV one or whatever, and they want to trade it for a better one, possibly. It's the only thing that they think of.
Right, but as someone who wants to encounter Regigigas, I'm not going to give Regidrago for Regieleki because I will be back at the same place I started at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seriously just don't understand. I don't think this is their way of saying, oh, hey, buy both games, because they being able to have another save file kind of defeats the purpose of that. But
right.
So either way, it seems like a very unnecessary hurdle. I mean, maybe they're trying to go back to the old classic Pokemon roots and be like, oh, hey, in order to just trade with people who are close to you, trade with close friends or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. Either way, it's still a pain in the ass, and I don't agree with it.
Right. When it came to type version exclusives, that's why the friend I was talking about before, he got Sword, I got Shield, and we kind of just said, hey, if we're gonna complete decks or whatever, let's just help each other out with with the version exclusives, which actually helped out a lot back in the early this was back in 2019, December of 2019. And with Corona and everything, we didn't really get to do much because semester kicked up and everything, and just everything went to hell. But back December of 2019, we had already finished the game, so we're like, hey, let's just help each other find the version exclusives. And fast forwarding to maybe a month ago, and I was finishing up just my standard Galar decks. I'm just like, hey, there's a Pokemon that's a Sword exclusive, but I missed it. I think it was Gothette or something like that. Yeah, I think it was Gothette. And Gothorita, which is the first phase of it, is only Sword exclusive. I'm like, Christ. And it's not only do I not have Pokemon a Sword exclusive, I need its first stage evolution. I only have its second iteration. I'm like, great. So I ended up going on GTS, and I think some guy was asking for a Darmanitan for it. I'm like, okay, this is the greatest trade deal in history of trade deals. It was the most random trade ever, but I managed to do it.
You'd be surprised what people are looking for.
Right, I got one little story. This happened maybe a few days ago. I was doing just a Dynamax adventure because I want to get all the legendaries, and I encountered a red Basculin in the route. I'm like, oh, cool. Because
that's actually one thing I do want to. So I don't mean to cut you off, but that is one thing I do want to come and. That is one thing I do want to talk about is actually the Crown Tundra as a whole, including the Dynamax adventures and what. Because it seemed to me at the very beginning, it seemed like it was really difficult to obtain legendaries, but as the way you've been handling it, I mean that's proven my statement false. So what do you think?
How have you been handling it?
To obtain legendaries, right now, I think I'm about to finish my second full PC box of legendaries and everything. Because not only do you have the regular legendaries from the games, you also have the Ultra Beasts from the Alola region.
Oh yeah, the Pokemon I keep forgetting that exist.
Yeah, one I didn't even know existed, Blacephalon. What the hell, dude? Looks like a little cotton candy machine with a disco ball.
Yeah,
on
Gen
top.
7 was weird.
Not really. Gen 7 was odd because
very trippy.
Take into account no gym battles. You had the Kahunas. That tripped me up so much.
At least they brought Actually, that's another thing too, because I've mentioned this before. Remember Stargazer? Remember how I talked about the presentation of the gym battles, and it was really, really good, probably the best we've ever seen in the series. But I feel like the lack of animation with the Pokemon kind of ruined it. I don't know if Jaws feels the same way as me. Because I think the atmosphere is there and the presentation is there for the most part, but I think because the Pokemon barely lack any animation when attacking, it kind of deflates it a bit.
I can agree to that because, when Pokemon first came out in 3D form back in the Kalos region, we were happy with just Pokemon, being 3D. That was great as it is. But, as, the gens went on, you would think, maybe they did a little bit more. I felt like they just kind of stay at that same level. I don't think they really did anything with Pokemon, interaction in terms of attack or whatnot until it came out to Gen 8. I mean, I'm not even taking into account Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee because, I never played it for myself, but I have seen some gameplay of it, and I think it's good, interactive, in an interactive way, but I'm referring to myself just to the main gen Pokemon.
You haven't seen Battle Revolution or the Coliseum games, have you? Especially Battle Revolution because they actually have the Pokemon interacting with each other on the same screen.
Oh
which
no,
is
I've seen
like,
it. I'm talking about just like the standard Gens 1 through 8 Pokemon games.
yeah.
Yeah, like non-XD.
But no, what I'm saying is
Coliseum.
like if we had animations like Battle Revolution in
that'd
Sword
be
and
cool.
Shield, that would have made the game like I think that would have been. I mean, granted, Game Freak didn't make the Coliseum game, so I understand why they probably didn't have maybe who knows even the rights to the coding for all we know. But still, like
Yeah, that
I
was
wish that
Chipsoft, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
the animations.
No,
I wish the animations were more like that instead of double kick, literally moving the model up and down with a kick image on the Pokemon. That's shit we've seen in like the GBA games for God's sakes.
I mean, just to add on to that, it's like one thing I loved about Gen 8, for people I guess who've stayed loyal to the franchise, it kind of, how can I say, reenacted the things like we grew up like watching TV, like seeing the actual stadium game, Pokemon battles. Like when you go into the Champions League and you actually go against the gym leaders, you're not just playing in a little room or whatever. When you go in that encounter like we did in every other game, like you're actually in a big old arena, big old stadium, and you're fighting a gym leader, you're fighting a champion in there. Like that is something we grew up seeing. We finally get to do it ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I said, the presentation and the atmosphere, and hell, even the music. Oh, the music is good too.
Yeah, really, really good soundtrack.
But it's just I don't like that. That's the reason, because all those other things are so good. The blemish of the lack of animation stands out really badly. And no, I don't. And I'm not including Dynamaxing. I know that's where everyone was trying to focus their attention to. It's like, yeah, there is the animation when you do that, but it's still awfully silly to see the little JPEG images flash up on the screen.
Yeah, but when it comes to the animation of how they're moving, it's a lot more than what we were given to back when Pokemon first came into 3D. Like for example, when you use bounce, and of course I'm using my Wailord for example because I don't know how the heck this boy can learn, but he'll jump. And
that's kind of awesome.
And it's so funny when he does it. Like you'll just see this big old thing just jump in the air, and he'll just come crashing right back down on you. So it's like, little things like that, and you actually see the Pokemon. Like it's not just, ooh, he didn't move and it hit and they flinch or nothing. No, like these Pokemon actually can get distorted, like they'll get crushed, like they'll shrink, like little things like that. And of course, things are probably going to progress as we go into the future games. But like what I like here now is there's obvious progression from what we had before, which, and I told you this about before, I just get really upset when like I see other YouTubers like they're reviewing game like gens like 5 through 8 after Gen 4, and they say, oh, these games are trash compared to the other ones. Like they never made a good Pokemon game after like Gen 4.
Oh, no. I never said Sword and Shield was trash. I mean, there's some things I think are quite lackluster and maybe even garbage, but not as a whole. Because like I've mentioned before, and anyone can agree with this, is that in terms of like being on par for a Pokemon experience, it checks all the boxes. You will have fun with this game. You will, if you enjoy what you've ever played before up until this point, you will enjoy this game 100%. But if you're like me and you expect, oh, hey, this is a console title, maybe I expected, I don't know, console performance, that's kind of where it falls flat. I think they were more so, like you mentioned, you play the game in handheld most of all. Maybe other people are the same way, so maybe Game Freak is more seeing this as a handheld title more so than a console title.
Well,
so
right,
maybe that's
keep in mind, every Pokemon game that Game Freak's released has always been for the handheld, so they're probably thinking on the premise that, if you're not battling your friend, in the same house or whatever, and you guys aren't playing on TV, more likely than not, you're going to be playing in handheld mode because that's just what you've been accustomed to your whole life.
That makes those Nintendo 64 trees in the wild area a lot better looking.
Right.
I had to bring that up one more time. I'm sorry. It's just fun to point out.
But yeah, I think honestly, and I think I told you this, but even way before, I always just, after Gen 4, I gotta say Gen 4, like I said, was my first Pokemon game. Like I remember 3rd grade, got Diamond and Pearl.
And then Gen 4 was my favorite.
Who's isn't? Like Gen 4 is great. Gen 4 is great.
Yeah, for me, it's 2, 3, and 4 are my favorites.
Oh, you have 3. Okay, you're that guy. Cool.
Yeah.
I remember Christmas morning playing Diamond. Like I never got through it. I never got through Diamond, honestly, because I'm a little schmuck, like freaking 3rd grader. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just playing Pokemon because it's Pokemon. and then I remember when Platinum came out, and Platinum I took a little bit more serious, and I think I remember getting to the champion, but I never defeated her. I never defeated Cynthia, and then it's like I was trying to defeat Cynthia, and then Soul Silver came out, and I remember going all through Soul Silver. I think I was just starting my sixth grade in middle school, got through Soul Silver, defeated the champion, did everything, and then I actually went back to Platinum, defeated Cynthia. So I was like, okay, so 2 Pokemon games down, that's good. Then Unova came out, Gen 5. And then Gen 5, I was like, okay, this is new. Now the Pokemon actually move a little bit. This is something new. I got Pokemon, I think I got Pokemon White, and then I got Pokemon White 2. And I kind of was just like, okay, kind of played the games, defeated the champion. That was it. Really didn't do much afterwards. I know at least back in Gen 4 and then in Soul Silver, I actually, played a little bit more after the game, but that wasn't really much it. And
so what I'm getting at is that it's pretty much Sword and Shield is the first time you've been fully invested in a game since your beginnings.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to get through, because then Gen 5.
I don't mean to we're a little bit we're a little bit cut on time. That's why I'm just kind of I'm trying to move things along. I'm sorry if I'm being pushy, but yeah, I do understand the fact that hey, this is the first time you've been fully invested in something, and that really does bring out the best in the fandom. So
yeah, exactly, because it's I played the other games just to play them because hey, it's a new Pokemon game. All right, I'll play it, and that's it. I didn't really see myself doing much after the game. Not anything. And then this is the first time I'm wow, finish Sword and Shield, but I'm there's so much more I think I can do in this game. Let me do something I never did before. Let me complete the decks. Hey, let me complete my Curry decks. Let me play the DLC. Mm-hmm. And now I'm at a point where I'm doing something I never pushed myself to do ever, let alone complete the decks. Never did I ever try or wanted to ever shiny hunt. And I'm I put so much time in this game, why not actually just shiny hunt my favorite Pokemon? If there's going to be one that I'm going to have, it's going to be him. I've gotten shinies from Wonder Trades, and I got I think 2 shinies from Dynamax Adventures. It was a shiny Boltund and a shiny Mewtwo. That's it.
Wow.
But it's let me get let me have a shiny Wailord and I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never done really is shiny hunting, because in all the older games, it was kind of hard to do that.
I have terrible luck.
Yeah, shiny hunting was terrible in the older games.
Me and my wife's stepsister gets a shiny Staravia and shiny Blue on a shiny Beat Unknown in front of me back when we were playing it.
Gold version, the gold version, I ended up getting a shiny Growlithe, which was really hard to do because in that game he could learn Roar, which would have been really awful, but fortunately didn't use it.
Ouch! No, that's scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god. So, one thing I can say is definitely say it seems like the Crown Tundra has the most effort put into it, which is really good, but it also rubs me the wrong way at the same time because as I do appreciate the effort put into it, I do feel kind of weird how people have to spend $90 just to get to the best part of the game. So that's the only thing that kind of holds me back from giving a true rate, truly good rating in terms of it. Because I will admit it, I'm gonna be that guy to bring it up because I have to. It's been confirmed that the Dex cut happened on purpose to resell it as DLC. There's no way around it. I don't give a shit what they said. That's exactly what corporate did. I have to point it out. But it, like I said. Obviously they're expecting me to drop another $30 on the DLC because hey, Dragonite's in it, you must buy. I don't give yes, I understand, but no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Give me a better reason than having Dragonite follow me around.
I mean,
but at least with Crown Tundra, that does kind of give it a little bit more value because in terms of Isle of Armor, in my opinion, kind of is a little bit lackluster in comparison. There were things to do, like you said, you enjoyed the wild area part of it, and the areas have a bit more detail in them, and there's more biomes to explore, and it seems like a little bit more varied and stuff. But
and the story on the Crown Tundra, because each Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra have their own little story. The story for the Crown Tundra, in my opinion, has a better plot, better characters, and like you said, just more areas to explore versus the Isle of Armor.
Yeah, which I don't know. It kind of it seems like the more efforts put towards the DLC, the more the more lackluster the base game becomes. I don't know. It still seems kind of silly to me to have this massive open wild area and then have the routes be 10 10 inches long. It just, I don't know. It just seems very weird.
Kind of push the game to meet the release date, so I guess this is their only way of trying to get the, I guess, a sort of post story area out, kind of like what they did in Soul Silver and Heart Gold, where you could go explore the Kanto region after you finish the Johto region.
Although, to be fair with that one, that's been a thing since the original Gold and Silver, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but either way, that's still like, oh hey, that's pretty much half the game done.
Which is one reason why I love Gen 2, because you could do that.
Right. Yeah, that's why there's like some like weird, like Josh told me some weird rumors going around, like, oh, maybe they'll add DLC with Gen 4 remakes or something being. I'm like, hell no, there's no way they're gonna make that $30. That's gonna be its own title for 60 if they do that.
A guy could dream.
No, trust me, I would love it too. The thing of it is like I would love Gen 4 remakes, but I'm afraid of them giving it the OR-ass treatment, emphasis on ass.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I can
like
agree.
I don't like. I'm not like. Long story short, Mega Evolution ruined the game. Don't do it again.
Yeah, I never played Sapphire, so Alpha Sapphire was like my first taste of like what it was, and it was okay.
Boy, did you get ripped off?
Say what?
I said, boy, did you get ripped off?
Well, yeah, but I really didn't think much of it. The only reason I really wanted to play it is because my favorite legendary was in the game, which is Kyogre. That's it. That's the main reason why I wanted to play it. That was it. I really care much for the story. Didn't care much for, the everything. I was like, where's Kyogre and how do I get him? Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
well, the reason why I got Omega
the
Ruby is because people wanted me to review that game. Oh, by the way, you owe me $40.
Yeah, I thought the story was fine in the original Ruby and Sapphire, but then they changed everything.
Right.
No, it's...
I don't know. Like, coming from someone who's played, every game up to date, I just feel like Gen 8 is, a little bit of breath of fresh air and definitely does lead the way to better games, especially, one thing that makes me happy about it, and this is just coming from someone who we've all experienced the same, I'm happy that I can see Gen 8 as the first Pokemon for a lot of kids, because I can just remember, when I was a kid and I played my first Pokemon game at Christmas, back when I was in the 3rd grade, now, I'm about to graduate college and everything, I'm just thinking about kids, who probably last year on Christmas got Sword or Shield as their first Pokemon game. They probably got the Switch Lite, they didn't get the whole Switch. And they're playing for the first time. They're seeing how interactive, how cool it is. I'm just thinking, wow, this is their first taste of what it could be, and I think it can only go better from here. Versus for us, we started with the older games. They kind of stayed the same for a little bit, and that wasn't until when the DSs came out, and then obviously, when it came to the 3DSs, things started going uphill, in a good way. So that's why I'm definitely doubling down on my my statement when I say this is definitely an on par Pokemon experience at the very least, because like I said, it still gives off the vibe. It still you still have the enjoyment of catching your favorite team for the most part, and going out on adventures. And it's just, I don't know, it had the stories there, everything is there. It's one of those things where, yeah, maybe I was a little bit too critical. I mean, I still am. I'm not going to change that much. But I know I'm kind of like one of those people you can't stand because you're like, oh, the newer games suck because you grew up with the older ones. It's like, I mean, yes and no. It's more so oh, hey, we're on a Switch now, so my expectations perhaps were too high. But that's just because I was thinking more oh, this is a console experience, so we would see better open worlds and whatever, and maybe more. Actually, here's another thing too: is why not voice acting? Why can't voice acting be a thing? That's in the new games. I guess because we've been so used to just reading text, on the bottom of the screen. They just say, hey, let's just move their mouse and they'll just read the text. Maybe that'll be something new they'll incorporate. That'll be. I mean, the only voice we hear are Pikachu and Eevee. That's it.
Yeah.
The only actual voices we hear.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a lot of things that I actually do like about it looking back, but I don't know, that whole DLC thing. Here's the main thing that I want to point out. If the DLC was a free update, I would be giving this a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10, because that's Game Freak or Pokemon Company, whoever, listening to the feedback and improving on what they've made so far. But the fact that they're locking following behind you, the Pokemon falling behind you, Pokemon themselves, hidden abilities, and certain Gigantamaxes behind this DLC, it seems like a premium paywall they just did on purpose just to make more money. And that's the reason why I'm so fucking critical with this game. If everything was a free update, or hell, even if it was like $10 or whatever, like if it was not as much as it is, I would be giving this a way better positive outlook on it. But like, if you look at all the shit they're doing with their mobile games, oh my, that's why I had this opinion, because it seems like they're doing more things just to make money instead of listening to the community like they should be.
Mm.
So, like, what we have, it is good. That's what I'm saying. It is good. I do like the Crown Tundra, and hell, like, if I can find the bundle for a cheaper price at Walmart, like maybe 75 or 80, no, I'm sorry, like 75 or 70, around there, I probably will get it. I'm not kidding. Like, I do generally want to do it. And no, it's not because of Dragonite. Shut your mouth. It's because of the entire thing as a whole. They did improve on things, but it just seems like, I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't give a fuck about the base game, and they just focused on the $90 experience more so than the $60. So that's the reason why I'm so critical with this.
I guess, like, from a corporate standpoint, I really don't have much to say on it, which we can say that's a fluke. But the fact that,
that's the reason why you and I are opposites, my friend.
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. Like, okay, it's for that price and whatnot, but you know, you pay it once, and then I just see how much I got for it. It's like the experience and enjoyment I got. I didn't really think about the monetary value from it. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I can see myself spending so much time playing this. Like, the last thing I thought about was, oh my god, like I paid $60 for it, and I paid $30 for a DLC. I'm like, okay, you know, I got it. I'm enjoying it.
I mean, to be fair, to be fair, and yes, I'm going to sound like a hypocritical bastard saying this. I was the one that recommended you the DLC.
You are, yeah.
And the thing is, too, is the fact that the reason why I did recommend it to you is because the fact that I looked at your time played and I evaluated what you did in the game, and because you love the wild area so much, that was your main focus of the game, that alone already adds more value to it. So it was worth the $30 and then some for you.
Yeah.
But
like honestly, like, I don't know what people were expecting initially from the DLC. If it was going to be like another little like battle area or type of thing. I mean, heck, one guy was denouncing.
They technically do have that though, right? In the Crown Tundra, they have like the Masters League, or whatever the fuck it's called.
No, that's the Battle Tower. That's in the main game. Once you complete the the story, you can go and there's a battle tower that you just progress and you train Pokemon. You battle your Pokemon. So you get
yeah, I know that exists. I thought there was an additional an additional mode where you get to like team up with like gym leaders and shit and make your way to the top. Isn't that a new mode?
Yeah, you do. So in the Crown Tundra, after you beat story for the Crown Tundra, you can go back to the champion stadium or not. You can team up with like NPCs, like with your gym leaders or with your protagonists, like partners, whatever. You can partner up for like battles, which are actually really fun to do. I actually enjoy them.
I can see that being good.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, it's funny we mentioned the Battle Tower because, like I said, in the past games, I never played, like, I heard guys, denouncing games because they never incorporated the Battle Frontier after Gen 4. So, I never really touched, like, these types of games where or mini games, however you want to say, these features where you have to, like, go through tiers. So, I started playing the Battle Tower, and I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying it, understanding like different play styles of how I'm playing against my Pokemon. The NPCs were actually very difficult. I actually had quite a hard time in the long run. And then I found myself doing something else I never did in any other Pokemon game, which is EV training. And I, spent like I remember 3.5 hours like using proteins and HP ups and iron and all that stuff, like trying to get like the best stats for my entire team. And once I did that, and I went to the Battle Tower, dude, I steamrolled every NPC. I was like, this is amazing.
That is always a good feeling.
Yeah, it was great because I'm like, wow, I did it right. Like, it looks more like an experiment, but when you like put it all together, I'm like, this turned out perfectly. I will say the one thing, like I said, I was talking about the GTS, but it has nothing to do with Sword and Shield. But I guess this does have to do with Sword and Shield that I don't like is the online battling because damn, is it broken.
Oh, really? Like how so?
It's so broken. Like I played maybe 3 or 4 rounds. lost all of them but it was not my fault because every team I saw was a full 6-man team of shinies. And I remember once, and this was like, I'm like, forget, I'm not doing this again. When I had my Whale Lord and he did Hydro Pump on a Charizard, and he had the higher speed because I gave him, for a big ass whale, I gave him really good speed to land a Hydro Pump on the shiny level 100 Charizard and literally did 1 HP of damage.
What?
I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not even going to do this anymore.
Well, I'm glad to see that all the money from those paid subscriptions goes towards anti-cheat mechanisms. Oh, wait, it doesn't.
It does, though, because, like, if you wonder trade, you can still get hacked mons from, like, PokeLabs or Matchaps.com. So it's like they need to crack down on that because that just ruins the enjoyment of online battling. But it's not something I really ever saw myself doing. I didn't just anything online. It was just trades. So that's like the only thing I.
Do I dare mention how fucking broken the go to home thing is? I mean, I might as well since I don't feel like making another CC video on that. I like the whole system is a fucking joke because you can't even bring unless you've already registered it in your Sword and Shield decks anyway. You can't bring something from go to home. Like, for example, like I can't give myself a Dragonite unless I've already caught it in Sword and Shield anyway. So I'd have to buy the DLC regardless, or get it from a trade from you, for example. But
Right.
So with that being said, it doesn't matter what the cheap cost is for those other ones because unless you're just trying to go for some good IV randomly, it's useless. Or so I don't the legendaries and then the shiny mythicals and whatever and all that they're so ludicrously priced with terms of like using up energy that it would take you 1 week per shiny legendary or $10 each to fucking transfer them over. And I know people who've already transferred so much shit over, they probably spent at least $250 transferring shit over. I wish I could find where they are and give them across the face because goddamn, why are you giving into that? This is a I like one of the things that I don't know if it was you who brought it up or whoever, but I think it was Austin John Plays or whatever. I think he mentioned something like, oh, the reason why they're limiting shiny legendaries or whatever, so the whole like value of them isn't ruined and it doesn't and the Sword and Shield isn't flooded with them or whatever. I kind of understand that, except the moment you bring money into it as a way to bypass it, whatever the previous reason doesn't fucking mean anything. Because if you really meant what you said, there would not be any way to bypass it at all. So I had to get that off my chest. All right, that's stupid side rant done.
When it comes to battling, that whole situation is my first like taste of like online battling. That wasn't with my friend. Like I said before, the friend I've mentioned before, he was like the only person I ever battled with. I never went to online battling, never bothered with it. But just for the fact that I spent like 3.5 hours EV training my entire team, I said, let's see how good we can do. And like the closest one I came was, again, I was playing a hacked team, but like it literally came to a point where it was just my Lapras versus, I swear to God, if I remember the other guy's Pokemon, and just because he had higher speed, he managed to get the one up on me. But the fact that like we're playing, like that was the best we did. The rest of the hack just kind of came through. Like we only would get through half their team, they take me out. But like the fact that like my team pulled through so hard that we almost took out a whole 6-man hack team, I was like, damn, like for someone who didn't do this ever before, that wasn't that bad. But then of course the Charizard situation with Hydro Pump just barely doing a tick. I feel like it was a Hydro Pump or Water Spout. It was a high.
If it was Water Spout, that's even more pathetic because Water Spout, when you have full HP, should wreck people's shit. So
Water Spout has such high power at full health, and like I said, Skipjack, that's my Wailord's name, had full health as he had the higher speed, so he got the first hit, he got the first shot in the battle, and it did 1 tick of damage. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm not dealing.
So I'm glad you mentioned that up because I definitely didn't mention any. I didn't know. I didn't look up any like PvP information.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So obviously they're not really forcing anti-cheat mechanisms. Although that whole thing where you giving your Pokemon that you transferred from Gen 3 or 4 a hidden ability in Sword and Shield makes it bricked is kind of broken in a sense. They don't even which for some they don't allow those hacked shinies, but this type of one where it's legitimate, it doesn't work.
Listen, no one here who's going to be saying is going to understand this, but you and I know the only thing that's broken is Joey's Ferrothorn. I just want to put that out there. I just feel like if he's going to watch this,
fucking Ferrothorn, that thing can suck it.
Okay. Briefly explain how broken it is.
Ferrothorn. I hate his Ferrothorn with a burning.
The fact that it's a defensive tank like Shuckle and it knows Leech Siege. So that's all you need.
God, it's so it's like freaking Shuckle and Fortress if they had a baby.
Listen, as someone who primarily just loves water types, and I wish I could have a full water type team and still have entire move coverage. And I'm at that tendency. I'm like, I could really do it, but I don't know if I should put.
Dude, I'm with you on that one. I'm pretty big water, and for me, it's like water type and fighting type those are my two favorites.
Like it look like
I am seeing you in the chat, by the way.
My team is literally right now Wailord, Kyogre, Blastoise, Rillaboom, Luxray, and Lapras. And literally, I have 2 water types I know I could put in. I could replace Rillaboom with Swampert, who is another great water type star that I love. And then I'm really thinking of either replacing my Luxray with either Sharpedo or Relicanth. And I know people sleep on Relicanth, but I love that guy. Like, he's great. And the fact is, this Relicanth isn't the one that you catch.
I like Relicanth.
Area. This is a Relicanth I got from a Dynamax adventure who he has like moves that you don't see him. They're usually in the wild. So it's like he's got exclusive moves.
Interesting.
So
it's interesting you mentioned that. I was about to, because I don't think we really went into full detail. Like how bad is the rental system for the Dynamax adventures? Because that's what feared me the most. I thought it was going to be a pain in the ass using Pokemon you weren't familiar with.
So it's like I said before, it's really cut and dry. So essentially, how you start off is depending, obviously, if you want to play online with people or not. You have a choice of 3 random ass Pokemon, and they all have. The thing is, their type doesn't necessarily reflect on their moves. Like, you could have like a water type, and he'll probably just have like normal fighting or still like their move sets does not correlate to their typing, which is the craziest thing. Like, they'll maybe have like, if you get a water type, he'll maybe have like 1 water type move, and that's it.
So are the moves more randomized, or are they more like optimal for specific situations? Because like I know in Battle Revolution with that select battle that it was literally a fucking crapshoot with those randomly selected Pokemon. Like they could have like the most. You could randomly have a Pokemon that holds a fucking poison orb to poison itself for no fucking reason. Like I don't know how bad the random is.
They're more optimal because you can either get obviously moves that do damage, or you get like help, like moves that like Life do, for example, so you can help heal your team up, stuff like that. So
okay,
rental Pokemon isn't bad. The only thing is, it depends. Obviously, of course, my whole thing about the whole Dynamax adventure, especially if you're playing with people online, knowing what Pokemon to get as you're going through, because you encounter 3 regular Pokemon before you encounter legendary. So let's say, for example, you're fighting Kyogre at the end, you're gonna want to have either grass or electric types on your team. And let's say, for example, there's gonna be like 1 grass and 1 electric type on the routes up there. But the thing is, you have 3 or 4 routes to choose from after every battle you win. So essentially, you could be voting like, hey, let's go against the grass type. I know we're probably at disadvantage, but if we manage to defeat and catch him, it'll help us out against Kyogre. And then people be like, no, I want to fight the normal type. And then once you finally get the Kyogre, you're gonna get a huge disadvantage unless you're lucky enough. Like, for example, if you know what legendary you're gonna be fighting against and you know their type, you can try to see if you can get it as your first rental Pokemon. But that's only like if you actually save. Let's say, for example, you don't defeat the legendary. When you come back out of the adventure, the little science is like, hey, like, I saw you didn't defeat it. Do you want to save their location so you can battle them again? So you're like, okay, let's try again.
Oh, sweet.
Then in your head, okay.
I wasn't familiar with that. Yeah, because at the time, Cerebi never mentioned, oh, hey, there's a way to retry it. I thought it was like, oh, you failed. Then better luck next time for the RNG. So at least that's actually a good positive. So at least if you do fail like at the boss, you could at least take another stab at it and try again.
It's not randomized. That's what we're trying to find, which I guess is good if you want a shiny hunt, but I just feel that's pointless at the shiny hunt legendary. Like, the only legendary I got from that was shiny was Mewtwo, and that was on a fucking fluke. I remember it was like 2 a.m. I think I was online with Nari, and I'm just doing my diamond. All of a sudden, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, which Pokemon to pick? All of a sudden, I see Mewtwo with a green tail. I was like, bro, scream into my mic. But
I mean, I see those things selling on eBay for like $25 a piece.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be.
I'm kidding. Don't ever do that. Don't be that kind of scumbag.
I'm. He's gonna be a nice guy. But how it goes essentially is like, and I remember I told this to you because it happened. We essentially weren't able to defeat the legendary, so I could only choose the 3. Because now that I have the shiny charm, I have a 1 in 100th chance of encountering a shiny in the Dynamax adventure. So every Pokemon that I encounter, whether I'm going to keep it the battle or not, I still catch it. So I can choose to keep 1 at the end. And since I guess since we didn't defeat the legendary, and none of the Pokemon card were shinies. I opted out. I says, okay, just take the first rental Pokemon I picked because I think it was a starter. I think it was a Hoenn starter. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was. And the game's like, oh, well, you gave your Pokemon back to the side. I was like, excuse me? I thought I get to keep it. So I think essentially it's like you get to keep, whichever Pokemon you caught along the way to Dynamax Adventure.
So not the first one you start with.
Yeah, the first one you start with, it's like the science, like here's 3 rental Pokemon. Choose one to start off with. So you choose that, and then you keep going and all.
Okay, so that one remains a rental no matter what. Okay, that's understandable.
So I mean, I haven't tested that theory. Like, let's say for example, you do defeat the legendary and you catch it, and you still decline to take any one of those 4 Pokemon you pick. I don't know if you still get to keep it. But from my understanding, I don't think you do. I don't think you can. But honestly,
so at least there's a lot of variety with that, yeah. Because like I said, my biggest fear was either getting players that just don't know and go, oh hey, there's a Galarian Ponyta, my favorite. I'm gonna pick that and don't even look at the moves. Or my other fear was that the rental Pokemon are so like lackluster that it's just a miracle or whatever.
Are lackluster. I mean, you'll get like Clefairies or like Jigglypuffs here and there. But, like, I will say I am guilty. When I do see Wailmer, like, in the little routes, I do vote to go get Wailmer, and I do tend to keep it. But, like...
And that's your best bet. That's your best chance to get a shiny, then 1 in 100.
Yeah, but you know how, like, rare it is for me to go through... You know how many Dynamax adventures I'll have to just have a chance to see him, just to encounter him? Because it's like...
Yeah, I know.
Like, the same one every time. See, what I'm doing is, as we're talking, I'm on Route 9, and I'm doing, the Matsudo method with the Pokemon daycare, and I'm just keep riding around in Route 9 in the water to see if I can encounter, because like 4 will spawn all at once, so I just keep riding around.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd catch one of them on stream. Yeah, that would be great.
299 encounters so far. 500. If I get to 500 encounters, my odds of finding a shiner are like 1 in 512.
Joey, you dick.
Like 1 in 4.
Oh, you just saw that now.
So my odds are,
Yeah, by the way, Jaws, Joey in my chat just said, it's not broken, Jaws, it's just bad.
Shut up, Joey.
Oh, you little bastard.
Of course, just show up randomly just to taunt at Jaws. Cool. That's nice.
Tell me this for Hawthorne. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh, that's just
else in the chat taunts
Oh no.
You gotta love it.
Everyone's going for Hawthorne. Oh god, dude! If I could.
All right. Well, here's the thing that I definitely you can't think that this is 100% perfect masterpiece. There's got to be something that you think that you have to have some sort of critical taste on. There's got to be.
You did
something.
mention one thing.
Oh, what?
I'm trying to remember what it was. The online battling.
Oh, online ballot. Okay, yeah, that was one of them.
That's one.
The online
Yeah,
battling.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of the whole pop-in either. Like, I love how like the environments look, but when a Pokemon randomly loads in like 10 feet in front of me, it kind of breaks the illusion a little. Did they ever fix that in the later DLCs or no?
Like he's just 5 minutes to grass, and he kind of pops up to say hi. But 2 things I can say I don't like about the game: the lack of the GTS, because I hate having to like deposit a Pokemon to my Switch, close the app, and then open the app on my phone, because I have both apps open. Like it says, oh, you have to log out because the app was open on another device. So that's like so definitely a lack of the GTS on the Switch, and the online battle. Like if they could really get on the community like about battling with hacked mons, I'd be so much happier. That's it.
Wow, so there we go. That's crazy. Like, yeah, I'm still impressed of how much time and whatever you've spent on that as a whole. But the fact of it is like the wild. I guess the whole immersion of like being like doing the wild area, whatever, is just that alone. I guess really sells it. I mean, I guess me being a fucking stubborn asshole, I guess, is like, oh, why isn't the whole game like that? Yeah, I was literally being like, the kind of person you can't stand. But it's like. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, if you take a step back, and if money's not the thing, like if you add everything together as one complete package, it did improve on itself. That's one thing I will give Game Freak, regardless of how much it actually cost. Game Freak did show some improvement. I have to point that out. So, like, it doesn't like. it doesn't matter like about the following thing or whatever. It's mainly like, all right, we got more stories, we got more effort put into it, we got more details put into like the wild areas and whatever. It's like that's probably why the vanilla game was a little bit on the mess side, just because they're so cut for time and they have to work on DLC before the regular games even release. So what the fuck? So
I mean, think about it this way too. Out of all the plots, this one is really relevant because, the plot of this one at the end is the reason Chairman Rose, resurrects Eternatus is because he's trying to help out because the Gala region is going through like an energy crisis and he's trying to figure out, how do we get new forms of energy so, we don't go into like an apocalyptic state. And if you're really thinking about in today's day and age, with sustainable energy and fossil fuels and all that political nonsense, that's really relevant. So it's like saying someone would really go to the ends of the earth, quite literally, to bring out this beast of, I don't even know what you want to call it. It looks like a circuit board with organs to solve an energy crisis. I think that's crazy because in this day and age, that's one huge thing in politics is the energy crisis. Like saying, what do we do? Like we need to go sustainable energy. What do we do here? And Chairman Rose is like, yo, let me just like resurrect the devil real quick.
So I think
music. Every battle that I do, if I was in the online battle or if I do the battle tower, I always use Chairman Rose's battle theme because it's so good. It's so badass. I love using his battle theme.
I will still say it again. The music is by far the best part of the game. That's shit I listen to on my spare time. Like that's never been a fucking problem with the Pokemon games. Period. The music is always bumping no matter what game you play. So like that's something I can, at least they're still tried and true to that. But yeah, I would have to say Sword and Shield is probably some of my favorite music of all time, and that's not a lie. Like I fucking love some of those themes. It's like whether it's some of them are atmospheric and other ones just make you want to have a rave party in your fucking basement.
I just love like every time you Dynamax, you hear the crowd go, oh.
Yeah, because that's like really true to like football games up by the UK and whatever, where the crowd really gets immersed and they start cheering for like the home team and shit. Like it's so like I love that attention to detail.
Yeah,
but like here another thing too is perhaps whatever game Game Freak is going to be working on from this point onward, whether it's more DLC or a new game entirely, like maybe this is just a stepping stone for what is to come for the Switch, and hopefully they can take this because we show them they're definitely capable with how the Crown Tundra is. Like I have to admit it, that's probably the best part of the game, bar none.
That's even a question too. Do you think they will make
experience and take this to make like better games going forward? Like don't let this be like the bar. Don't let this be like the main bar you have to hit or whatever. Just go above and beyond just a little bit. I can let them pass this one time. I'm always forever going to be butthurt about that hiding shit behind a paywall because just look at my CC videos. That's how I am. That's the kind of person I am. I can't let them go. And that's not Game Freak's fault, by the way. That's the Pokemon Company. So I do not blame Game Freak.
But see, it's funny because back when I started saying, hey, I really like Sword and Shield, back like this was like what, late 2019, I want to say early 2020, and you told me like your opinion, you showed me like you read me your review and whatnot. I was like, buddy, like it ain't just like that. Like, and I gave you my perspective on it as we've been talking about all throughout the year here and there, especially since the DLC came out and I got really back into it and you and I spent like hours on PSN just talking about it. I saw my opinion definitely had an impact of how you were perceiving the game afterwards.
But like mine too. To be fair, like I'm hearing you being so like optimistic, I guess, is giving me a second light at it because now I'm a little bit less stubborn and seeing it from different angles, which is the reason why I brought you here today. So it was like obviously with me, I'm being fucking stubborn sometimes, and I'm still saying, oh, it's pretty negative, blah blah blah. There is things need to be improved on, like there is, but it's still not bad by any means.
I look at this game. And of course, this goes for every Pokemon game, but especially this one, since like you guys said before, this is the first Pokemon game since I first started that I got super immersed into it. I see this game just like as I saw myself back in like third grade when I got Diamond. There are a lot of kids back in like, heck, there are gonna be kids even this Christmas coming up who probably didn't get it last year. This is probably gonna be their first Pokemon game ever. Their parents are probably gonna give them that DLC bundle.
They definitely should. Oh,
This is
I mean, there's one. Hold on, I have to mention this. By the way, Game Freak, what was with that? What was with that lie that you mentioned a while back, saying, "Oh, we can't fit it. We can't fit everything on one cartridge," and then the DLC has everything on one cartridge. Explain that.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
From last Christmas to the Christmas coming up now, there are gonna be so many kids who are like, they don't have Switches, they have the Switch Lite, that this will probably be their first Pokemon game ever. And I wish, my first game when I was in third grade, like Christmas Day, I wish this would have been my first game. But I had Diamond, and I was happy with that. Like, just the little things, like it sparks the imagination. You're just like, wow, this is great. Like, I love this franchise. Like, I'm gonna keep playing the next games. For kids, their first immersion, if they don't watch the anime, this to be the first experience in Pokemon. It's such an amazing thing because we know this is the first Pokemon game ever coming on a Switch. If you just don't take into account Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, this is gonna be their first game, actual gen Pokemon game. And things like Game Freak and the Pokemon Company can only go further from here with it. I think that's something amazing because kids now are like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. This is so great. I don't even know what else they can come up with. And thinking going to the future, it's only going uphill from here. And from us, that we know way before than they did. It's wow, we've come a long way. So
Speaking of the future,
that's why I'm trying to look. That's why I'm trying to look at it as a whole without putting money into the perspective. I mean, I still have to just because there were still things I'm still butthurt about. I still have to. I'm still gonna give it a positive score overall, but there are still things I have to point out that deducts a score. Like, for example, the very beginning, we wouldn't have found out about Dexit if the leaks didn't happen. They should have been upfront with that from the beginning, saying, "Oh, hey, by the way, we cannot put all the Pokemon in it in the beginning." They were not going to tell us until after we already bought the game, which is scummy. I'm sorry, I have to say that.
I'm one of the people who are very indifferent towards the national Dex.
Really, you didn't want all the Pokemon in the game since
no. It's not that I didn't want it, but I really didn't care. I'm like,
oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, there are people that are like that. I understand.
I was kind of like, oh, they didn't know. Oh well. I mean, back then, I was like, well, I never completed it anyway. And it's to be honest, as long as
it's more so these Pokemon are more important than mine. So obviously, it took Dragonite freaking until the Crown Tundra DLC to be released.
My opinion would have
been Ekans still isn't. So Jim Sterling, I apologize. Your favorite Pokemon still didn't make it.
My opinion would have been a whole lot different if, for example, my favorite Pokemon weren't in the game. For example, you with Dragonite, I could tell why you were upset. But I saw Wailord's here. I'm like, all right, good enough for me.
Yeah. So okay. So those who made the cut feel a little bit different than those who didn't. I see how it is.
Let's take out. Let's be honest. It really doesn't affect you. I'm like, okay, he's here. I can play the game. We're good to go. And I can understand why you were a little bit more peeved about it because Dragonite wasn't in it.
Well, it's that and then, I have to either trade or freaking buy DLC just to get them. So that's the reason I was kind of butthurt over it.
I mean, I had to trade to get a Dratini because I just could not get those weather conditions to spawn Dragonite. So I had to get a Dratini and through Pokemon Home and level it up. But one thing I discovered is if you get a Pokemon through trade that has a nickname, you can't change it. But if it still has its regular Pokemon game and the player never changed it, you have one chance, one opportunity to change the name. So I was like, well, if it's gonna be,
at least that's a thing.
There's only one name is gonna be for it, so it's Buddy, and I've just just him being your manifestation. I was like, I'm gonna make him level 10 Dynamax level, max that out, and I'm gonna make him level 100. I'm probably never gonna use him, just have him there maxed out just for sentimental reasons.
Just feed him a bunch of curry or chili, whatever the fuck that shit. Oh no, what? No, it's not chili. It's not the chili dex. Oh, God. Why couldn't it be the chili dex instead of the curry dex? I like chili better. You can make chili with everything.
I always thought curry was a Indian staple. I didn't really think of it as a staple in the UK. I guess it's just to do some diversity.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that too. That slipped my mind.
I have a reasoning for that. It's because India used to be owned by Britain.
Ah,
interesting.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't really put that into sense. I thought it was just more of a diversity inclusion sort of thing.
I think it might be both, honestly. But I got a question for the future. Do you think they might? Do you think they'll do another gen on the Switch, or will they go on to the next one?
I think the Switch will definitely see another gen.
Yeah, that'd be
for
nice.
sure.
Kind of almost like a bit of a
another
farewell
gen
title.
on the Switch. That's I don't know, maybe.
No, because look at this way. Now we're talking about Nintendo. I really do not see Nintendo. I mean, look how long PlayStation took to come out the PS5 because of how good the PS4 was doing. I mean, the Switch, it's a revolution in handheld consoles. Like take like the graphics, interactive, everything. And the Switch is an amazing handheld. So I really don't see Nintendo putting the effort like to go ahead and make a whole nother handheld. Other than the Switch, like if anything, they can do like what they did with the Switch Lite, make one that's specifically just for portability. Don't make one
Right.
that can either be a console or a handheld. Other than that, I don't see them doing anything for a while. Like, and I'm saying for a long while until like maybe technology becomes like a little obsolete, and they say, hey, let's go with the next one. But
Yeah.
like if anything, and I'm saying if anything, they could do like they did with the Switch Lite, or had for example, way back when the DS, when the DS came out, they had a DS Lite, and then afterwards we had the 3DS and the 3DS, the DSi, then it was the DSi XL, 3DS.
We're getting a 3D Switch now? Yes.
Oh, and the new Nintendo 3DS. I forgot they came out with the new Nintendo 3DS. Like new.
I forgot that was even a thing. That thing crashed and burned so quickly.
Yeah.
And then there's me who actually went and got it.
And speaking of the 3DS, it's officially out of production now. I think it was a couple of days ago.
Wow. That's.
But yeah, there's only one thing I definitely have to say if there will be another gen on the Switch is you already used that we can't put all the Pokemon in one game excuse once. Do not do it again because it won't fly the same way twice.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what. Sorry, freaking eyelash fell on my Switch. Still shiny hunting. It's nothing yet. I think I've already passed 300 Whalmers so far, so I'm narrowing down these odds.
A lot of bounty boys.
What do you mean, ones that you catched or founded?
No, these are so a little bit of rundown because they're encounter, but the thing is you either have to catch or defeat them in order to be counted as an encounter. Okay. So when I first started, I got my Whaler Skipjack. He's my boy, named him after my favorite type of submarine. So put him in the daycare, and I used the Matsuno method. So I got a Japanese Ditto through Wonder Trade. So use that. I think I stopped at 60 eggs. They're all just regular Whalmers. I'm like, okay, let me also see what else I can do. And I went online, and apparently they said, if you get a certain number of encounters, your odds go down, and obviously having the shiny charm, which I do. So essentially
similar to what they did in Let's Go, yeah, because I think the more you catch something, then the better your odds of finding it. So it's like a multiplier that the more you encounter, the more it goes up.
Right. So essentially, it's like they have a thing called a shiny chain, which is like you have to either catch or defeat 25 of that same Pokemon in a row. I'm out at over 300. I think I'm good. But essentially, right now, with the shiny charm, if you were just to encounter 500 Whalmers, your odds of getting a shiny Whalmer are 1 in 500 something. Now add on breeding, the shiny charm, and the shiny chain. All in all, your odds are 1 in 400. So going from 1 in 4,000 to 1 in 400 is really freaking good. It just takes a lot of time. I think I'm on day 3 of shiny thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's one big improvement. So I think Start, is it persuade you to buy the DLC now and have a better time?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it anyway. I just wanted to see what it was like, mainly.
No, I definitely for example, me, money really wasn't an issue or subject on my mind when I got it. I got it just to enjoy the content. And if you just take away I know Buddy's not the same way, but you take out that little price, little number, dollar sign out of your head, you enjoy for so much more of this if you truly value the experience.
And that's really what it comes down to, I guess. I mean, if you felt like it wasn't worth it, then definitely, definitely.
No,
go make a big stink about it.
No, I feel like this game, the content I got from both, even though the Crown Tundra, was a lot, more immersive than the Isle of Armor, both areas in general, I got so much more than, it was worth. So much more.
Which is all right. So I think we're just about ready to give a final verdict on everything. So I usually rate everything with not only just a big number system at the end, but I usually do the 5 categories: presentation, story, music, replayability, series loyalty. Music hasn't changed; it's still an A. Series loyalty is still a B. I'm gonna still keep it a B. Replayability, I originally gave it a D, but because the DLC is out, I'm gonna upgrade that to a B. The only reason why I'm not giving it an A is because these DLC is mainly wild area focused, and unfortunately, there are people out there that may not like the wild area hunting on its own. And if that is the case, then yes, I can see that being a downer for you. Other than that, there is a lot of replayability. Story, because of the Crown Tundra again, gonna upgrade it to a B again. It's like it's still very good. The Isle of Armor was kind of okay, except for
the Crown Tundra story was so much more immersive and so much. It's funny too. It's actually, if you actually listen to the story, I don't want to give too much away. It's actually pretty funny because of the interactions that happen.
No, the presentation, it's tough because I think it deserves more than a B, but not an A. So probably A minus, I would have to say.
There you go.
But overall, what do I think of this game? Well, before, if you knew me, I gave it a 6 out of 10 for many reasons, being very critical. However, I am going to increase my score to an 8 out of 10. I do see the potential in this game. Game Freak actually put effort into the DLC, which I can appreciate. However, there is still scummy lies that the Pokemon Company that has made that I do not appreciate, and I do see what they're doing. So just by me being who I am, you get points taken off of that. But 8 out of 10, it's still way better. There is improvements.
It's B minus.
I like it, and I'm happy to say that Game Freak actually gave a damn and actually put effort into the DLC and not made it a fucking cash grab 100%. So yeah, there is effort there. There is good things to do there. The Dynamax Adventures is a great way to get legendary, except for when you're starting a new save file and you can get level 70 legendaries without getting a single gym badge. That's fucking broken.
If I could make one change, I would want to make the DLC areas post-game locked only.
Yes, yeah, I don't know if they will though, because I know some people out there that'll just be. What's up?
What was the change?
We want it so like you can't do Dynamax Adventures till you beat post game. Or you beat the main game.
Yeah. That's fair. Because at that point you're going to be more powerful anyway. So yeah, that's like a no-brainer.
You can essentially leave the town with like your level 5 Grookey, go to the Crown Tundra, do some Dynamax Adventures. All of a sudden you're just steamrolling through the game with level 70 plus legendaries.
Yeah, that is. I mean, again, as badass as that is, it's like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Exactly. But,
yeah, that's like easy mode at that point.
No. So all right, so Jaws, what do you think? What are you giving this game? You're gonna release your inner fanboy and give it what I think you are?
If you say we can give it 10 out of 10, I don't want to be that guy, but in my heart, I want to do it just because I love it so much. But I'm reeling between like a 9, 9.5. Like my only grievance, of course, is they really need to crack down the online battling with the Hackmons and the lack of the GTS. Everything else, above and beyond.
Nice. Yeah, so there we go. So yes, even my opinion has improved. Like I said, I'm not like anything that they've done before as like little corporate gimmicks. I will never forgive. Trust me, I can see right through you. But in terms of what Game Freak did, not the Pokemon Company did, I do see effort. I do see them like caring for the community for the most part. And at least with the Pokemon, the Pokemon that was returned. What the fuck is that? Mute your mic, dude.
Yeah, what on earth was that?
I don't know what the fuck that was, but I don't know.
It almost sounded like angry German kid freaking smashing his computer.
Okay, I'm sorry. 8 out of 10 is not good enough? Jesus.
Yeah, it's like it just reminds me of the king and his computer.
Like I was saying, freaking because I see Game Freak themselves put effort into it. Like at least they put Pokemon in like the respective biomes, the ones that were returning, and actually made it more immersive and whatever, and made the experience better. Added more stuff for the story. There is effort there. I mean, there is some like minor nitpicks, like there's copy and paste of certain house interiors or whatever. Obviously, yeah, every game fucking does that. But like I said, it is really good. But there is obviously some things that need to be improved. But hey, this is the first main console game for the Switch. Let's see what they do with the next one. Whether it's a Gen 4 remake or I don't know, another Gen 8 or 9 game, whatever the hell it is. I want to see it take off from here. But I'm so glad we was able to get that off our chests. And yeah, I mean, the thing of it is yeah, like I mentioned to Jaws before, anyone who is watching this, if you did play the game and you had a great time in the wild area, I can strongly recommend the deals to get the DLC by that alone. Because if you still love the whole scavenger hunt and trying to find all of your favorites, then yeah, you'll definitely like that alone. Cause like it's the truth for sure. Like I can't deny that. But don't pull this shady shit again. Don't. It's like stop locking my boy behind $30 price tag.
The quote box thing is like I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Just keep my boy Whale Lord in the game, and we won't have problems.
I honestly I don't see any changes really to Wailord because he does have the advantage of being a little lower profile where like not a lot of people like he's kind of under the radar and probably for the better.
I guess that's the problem with having a pseudo legend as one of your favorites.
That's why I love Wailord. He's so underrated. So when I pull up with him on online battles, like and I pop off with him, people are like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know it's not one that people expect, so it's actually not. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Game Freak. I hope you do. I hope you put this effort that we clearly see you do into the next project and go above and beyond the best you can. And let's just hope that the higher ups don't fucking ruin it with stupid decisions. So that's my only gripe is the fact that there is when given the chance, there is effort, but obviously, if the big boss tells you to do something, you got to do it. So. But yeah. Other than that, yeah. There's platinum medals and level 50 in Pokemon Go now, and all I can say is thank fuck I quit that game. Good God, I would need to freaking have that be my second job.
Wait. Are they actually increasing the max level? You said.
Yeah, and you have to do all these obnoxious tasks just to level up one time.
Oh my God.
It's like, hey, you want to catch 250 Pokemon in 24 hours to level up? Have fun.
Well, I think this was a really productive stream.
Yep. Thanks for anyone who has joined us or whatever. There wasn't like a certain stone update, for example. But yeah, no, I already mentioned that. I will rip the Pokemon Company a new one if they decide to put Mega Evolution as a fucking paid DLC. Because I will I don't give a shit. I will lower the rating to a 1 if you fucking do that. It's like keep that shit. It's like do not paywall something that people genuinely like, especially that, because obviously Pokemon Go's doing it. And B, hey, Dragonite's now on top. He's the Pokemon of the week. Keep Megas out of this game. Keep your poison to yourself. It's just like Dynamax. Everyone can do it. It's not an act of favoritism, except for Charizard, because of course. But yeah.
Hey, I have a Gigantamax Lapras on my team, so I can't say too much about that.
Oh wow, he's on fire and he shits flames. Amazing.
Or Gigantic Blastoise is freaking dope. That's why I call him Bismarck. He looks like a straight up battleship.
Oh yeah, like an actual Bismarck battleship.
Yeah, look at my icon.
And so many freaking cannons on his back that there's no way in fuck that should be legal for a kid to have.
Exactly.
I mean, at least with Dragonite, you can just ask him to go get you some Subway, and then he'll bring it back. No death required.
Freaking cannons the door down. He's like, I asked for extra mayo.
Yeah, with Blastoise, you can just turn his cannon into like a human cannon and just have him fire you to Subway.
Ooh.
That would kill you, Jesus Christ.
No, we'll put like a trampoline at the end, like a little pillar.
Just have a trampoline placed exactly in front of the Subway.
Oh God.
I just thought of all like those Looney Tunes episodes where Bugs gets shot through like a cannon or like something like that.
All right. Well, like I said, you guys feel free to place whatever your comment is down below. It's yeah, I definitely need to get my opinion out because things have changed for the better. I'm a little less fucking stubborn when it comes to things, and I'm glad I actually gave this a second look just because hey, you gotta give credit where credit is due, and you gotta give scolding where that is due. So it goes both ways.
It does.
So thank you, Joss, for giving me a second look on this, because obviously you're like the other extreme with me. So I like you, Mr. 250 hours on this game. So yeah, and because of that alone, there is some value that I may not have seen and I didn't before. So I'm glad I gave it a second look.
Well, I'm glad you listened. I'm glad I was here to help you change your opinion.
Yes, not fully, mind you, but it's still it's made me a little bit more well, I guess optimistic. So,
Well, glad I was able to open your eyes a bit.
all right. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad I was able to do this on Dragonite Week because it's a perfect time to do so. I got other Mugen stuff to be taken care of at right now, and if I have time, I might be able to do that. How Team Latinite came to be live stream later on down the road, because that's actually interesting. Because obviously, why do I like Dragonite so much? I've never really explained it except for like 7 years ago when I gave a half-assed explanation. So I might as well do that if I have the time. But for now, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next Team Latinite project.
See you guys.